online crew. Welcome to a new week. And I just wanted to share with you a bit of an experience of mine online in the last month, because I know there's many of you that would have months where they just don't go according to plan, or you've got a lot on, or you're traveling, or someone gets sick, or life just gets in the way and you can't do as much as you normally do. So for me, that was January. And I don't know how I achieved it, but I do. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. I still managed to achieve to be the number one top customer enroller in my company in the all of Australia and New Zealand in January, even when life was throwing me many curveballs. So January was like a really interesting month for me. I traveled a lot. I was away, not most of the month, but close to it. So, here, there, and everywhere, doing a lot of things, but also going through life. I won't go into what that is, but we all have our stuff. Even the people that you look at online that, are public figures in a way and turn up with a smile on their face. We're all going through our own stuff. You just don't necessarily know. And for January, and still at the moment, I'm going through stuff. So as a result of that, I posted a lot less in my stories. Have a look at my stories lately. I'm not as active as I normally am because I'm going through stuff. We all go through it. But there was still things that I did that helped me still achieve being the number one enroller in January, even with all of that going on. So I talk about this stuff all the time, and I've shared how I've been able to be the number one enroller for the last few months. I've shared here openly what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And, I'm sharing that with my online crew community kind of here. But I really want to hone in on a few things, because it kind of blew my mind that I was still able to achieve that with everything that was going on for me in January. And I'm nothing special. There's just certain things that I do that I know I need to do in my business to get the results. And that's what I want to share with you. Does that make sense? So it is achievable to do good things in your business, even when you're really busy, or you're traveling a lot, or you're going through life, whatever's going on for you. It's absolutely achievable. And I've kind of proved that. And I'm still not out of that groove yet. I'm still going through a lot, but I'm still doing what I need to do. So I kind of want to share with you in this video, what is it that I kind of did and I'm continuing to do to keep my head above water and get myself results. Okay. So I hope this is helpful. So, welcome to everybody that's watching, Facebook, Instagram, etc. I do want to share with you this week. This is my only public live this week, because I'm going away tomorrow for a few days again. And then I'm going away in March again. Like, life is busy. But you can still have a busy life and do all the things and do what you do on a normal day and still get results in your business. And I'm here to, kind of prove that. So this is my only public live video this week. Coaching community members, the training is tomorrow before I go away, instead of the next day. So the coaching community members, your training is a day earlier this week, which is tomorrow, instead of the next day. And that is Reels training, practical training part 2. So last week I did a practical training on Reels. I shared my phone on the screen, pushed buttons, showed you how to do a whole lot of things on Instagram and edits and TikTok and wording and text and audio and all the things. So we've got part 2 of that practical training, which is happening tomorrow. So if you're coaching community member, that's still happening. Okay. So let me get back on track. Whenever I'm going through like a busy time, I'm traveling a lot, or life is throwing me some curveballs, there's 3 things that I always come back to, and I share this with this community here all the time. There's 3 things that build my business and that I have to do all the time: content, conversations, and converting those conversations. Okay. So the first two are very important because you don't get the third without the first two. So content and conversations, content and conversations, content and conversations. The more your content produces the conversations, the less conversations you need to initiate, and you're just nurturing the leads and having the conversation. But if you're not in any conversations about your business, like currently right now, you're not in any conversations with anybody about your business or the products or the services that you sell, then you need to go and initiate some conversations. And you do that initially with ICQ, which is my strategy around networking. And that's in like intention, complement, question. So go to your social media with intention. Instead of getting lost in the scroll, actually go to your social media with intention and compliment people, like make some new connections, make some human connections by being a nice person. And compliment people. Like you can go to people's stories, you can go to their feed and compliment them. But if you can find a question to ask around what you're complimenting them on, then you're going to keep the conversation going. And that's respect and it's trust. And building a business online these days, you need that. You need trust. There's plenty of people willing to buy. There's plenty of people willing to put their hand in their pocket and buy your stuff. So if you think your stuff's too expensive, get out of your own head. You've just got to provide the value. People are out there willing to buy. They just need to trust that you're going to look after them. And you need to show them that you can go over and above to look after them, so that trust is there, and show them the value. And what can you provide over and above what the company provides? How are you looking after people? So share that as well. Okay. So let me go back to content and conversations. For me, I'm so dialed in with my content that my content creates me the leads. So I don't have to do a lot of active conversations at the moment because my content is still performing. Now, the thing there to evaluate is, why is my content bringing me the leads? What am I doing that the content is bringing me the leads? Okay. And this is what I dialed in on when I know I've got limited time and I'm posting less. So I'm consciously thinking, okay, I need to be really strategic with my content. Stay on track, Helen. Stay on course, stay in the lane. So what I mean by stay in the lane is, I know if I want more customers, I know who exactly I'm talking to, and I know what problem I'm solving for them and the content that I need to deliver. And that's exactly what I did. So when I'm showing up on social media, I'm dialing in on that. I'm not talking about this, that, and whatever. I'm just going all in. Now, the other thing for me is that I haven't had a lot of time to create new content, which I'm always continually doing. So I repurposed the crap out of my content in January. So I've gone back to videos and reels that I've done late last year, like October, November, December. I've looked at what's worked. I've looked what's got me leads. You may or may not have that. And I've repurposed it. Same videos, same description, same hashtags, same everything. And it still brings me leads second time round. Okay. So the first thing, my platforms of choice, and this is just me personally, to get leads is Instagram and TikTok. It's not Facebook. Okay. It doesn't mean I don't post on Facebook. It doesn't mean I don't get leads on Facebook. It just means I get more leads on Instagram and TikTok. The reason for that is because I doubled down on my brand. I know exactly who I'm talking to. I know exactly what problem I'm solving, and I only talk about that. Whereas I recognize, as you might, if Facebook is your main platform, it's a bit of this and a bit of that because it's your Facebook personal profile. You might have a separate profile where you double down, or you might just choose to use your personal profile and double down on your brand. You can do that. That's totally up to you. You can achieve what I'm achieving on Facebook as well. It just depends on your strategy. If you only want to use Facebook, then you need to make it really clear and create a lot of content on who you help and what problem you solve for them. And don't be afraid to be loud and proud about that. So there might be less, what I call content bucket information. Like Facebook, I do recommend like rotating content over like 5 buckets. Like could be, your family, friends, just your kind of lifestyle. And you might have a content bucket to talk about product. You might have a content bucket to talk about online marketing, social selling, building a business online. And then you might have a content bucket that revolves around, it could be health, natural health, or gut health, or weight loss, or skincare, or travel, or, whatever your thing is. And then you've got another content bucket, which is a hobby of yours or a pet of yours, because people relate to you in different ways. So I do all of that on Facebook. You'll find a bit of business from me, a bit of product from me, a bit of inspiration from me, a bit of life from me, a little bit of what I'm up to, traveling. You'll see a little bit of all of that with me. But where I get majority of my leads from are Instagram and TikTok, and there's none of that blend on there. It's all in one target market, one problem I solve, and I use ChatGPT to help me with that content. So when you get laser focused on who you help and what you help them with, and you go all in, you will get leads. You'll actually train the algorithm to put your content in front of those people that are looking for those solutions, because you're all in on one thing. So this is what's working for me on those platforms. You could do the same on Facebook and just do less content of, the other stuff, if that's what you want to do. I don't want to do that. I want to keep my Facebook with, a bit of business and a bit of product and a bit of inspiration work, because that's kind of where people get to know, like, and trust me as a human being. Okay. You've got to choose what platform you go in, and there's platforms you go on, and there's no right or wrong. Like, do what suits you. Don't do what I'm doing just because it's what I'm doing. Do what suits you and what you've got the capacity for. Maybe it's Facebook and Instagram, but not TikTok. Maybe it's TikTok and Facebook and not Instagram. It doesn't matter. Where you focus is where you'll get the results. So if you focus on Facebook and you're more dialed in, you'll get more results on Facebook. But my kind of message here is, are you dialing in anywhere on any platform? And are you working on those 3 things? Content, conversations, and converting from the conversation. So you've got to learn the art of converting a lead to a sale, because some of you might get lots of leads, but they don't buy anything. And that's because you haven't learned the skill of how to nurture a lead. All of that stuff is in my coaching community. Okay. So content, conversations, and conversion. Okay. So how much content are you putting out there? And as I'm sharing, like, I actually posted less. Even on Instagram and TikTok, I posted less. But I was when I did post, I'm like, okay, I need to use videos that I know will attract leads that have worked well for me in the past. So when I was repurposing my content, because I had no time to create new content, I'm repurposing content that I know will help me get leads, and it worked. Okay. So I posted less, a lot less on Facebook, a lot less on stories. When life's good and you got more time, it's easier to sort of be a little bit more active. That wasn't my January. It's still not my February. I'm still not as active in my stories as I normally would be on a kind of, just normal kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a normal kind of life. Like, I'm still, like I've just shared with you before, I'm only doing 1 live this week publicly because I'm away for the next 3 days. So I'm still traveling, and I've still got, shit going on in my life as well. Like, there's still a lot going on, but I always make time for content, conversations, and nurturing my leads. That is my priority. And, other things will get like pushed aside or at different times. But I never not, no matter what's going on, I never not post anything, although it might be a little bit less. So even though life is getting in the way for me at the moment, I'll never go longer than kind of 3 or 4 days without posting anything. It just doesn't happen, Because if I'm serious about building my business, I mean, I could let it all go and crawl under a rock, but that's not going to help me build my business. And this is where you've got to rely on discipline and not motivation. If I just relied on motivation, then I probably wouldn't post at all, because there's various times I'm not necessarily motivated. And, when I'm not motivated or I don't have the time to create new content, then I'll always repurpose content rather than not posting anything at all. If any of you have been around for longer than 6 months in this industry, and some of you would have been in this industry for years, you would have great content that you've posted previously on whatever platform that you could easily repurpose again now, and no one would ever remember your post. I guarantee it. No one would ever remember your post. If you haven't done that, like if you haven't really started, well, then you've got to get started and you've got to have a bit of a plan. That your savior is in the planning. So just put your head down for like 3 months and go, right, I'm going to get really good at this posting. I'm going to dial in my target market. I'm going to dial in the problems that I'm solving. I'm going to use ChatGPT to help me with really good content. I'm going to save all of that so then I can start repurposing it, and then I can add in other content as I go along. Like, just put the hard yards in for a few months. So I've put the hard yards in. I've been consistent with my content for years. I've changed branding every now and again on my, health side of it, and dialed in a little bit more. But I've still got content from like 3 months ago that I can repurpose. Okay. So don't let life become an excuse for not posting. Content is your number one, because ideally you want your content to create the leads. I know you all don't want to chase leads, do you? You don't want to do the ICQ. I know you don't, because you don't do enough of it. But if you're not putting content out there to try to attract, customers or teammates, you're not building your business. Like, what are you doing here? Like, you've got to put the effort in, but you've got to have a bit of a strategy around that and just do it anyway. So my point around all of this is there's certain things that I did because I knew I needed to do, not because I felt like doing it. It's not necessarily motivation that I'm driven by. It's the discipline of knowing what I need to do to get the results. And I'm driven to get the results. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? And so, just if you can take anything from this, don't rely on motivation. You've got to have the discipline to post. You've got to have the discipline to have conversations, and you've got to have the discipline to convert. So I nurture my leads, but I pick my times. When there's times with family, or I'm away, or we're traveling, and it's not appropriate for me to be glued to my phone when I'm with my family, then I don't. But there's other times where I'll just communicate with the family, hey, I've got to catch up on some stuff. I'll be about 30 minutes, and I will plow through that and be really dedicated to that and just smash through all my messages and things like that. But I won't ignore it or bury my head in the sand. Okay. So I'm going to reiterate: content, conversations, and conversions. If you want to successfully build a business online, even when you're busy, even when you're traveling, even when you've got life going on, still come back to the basics: content, conversations, and conversions. And if your content isn't creating the conversations, you've got to actively in your day, with discipline, not motivation, do more of ICQ, which is intentionally going to your social media, complimenting some people and creating some conversations. And you just make time and space for that to happen, because your business is not going to build itself. Leads just don't come out of thin air and go, I want to buy your stuff, because you won't put one post out there. So I guess the other thing that I'm reiterating is consistency. If you disappear for too long, if you're not consistent enough with a particular message about who you help and what you help them with, they are buying from somebody else. They are looking at somebody else. I know that very well. So I know I have to show up, even if I don't feel like it, even if it's a little less than what I've done before. Like, I got less sales in January than I did in November and December, but I still was number one in November, December, and January. So is that helpful at all? Just to sort of strip it back and go, there's no silver bullet. It's hard work, and it's consistency, and it's no excuses, and it's coming back to the 3 things that and if you've got a team, teach them this as well. Your your results in building a team is in duplication. And if you've got any team at all, I guarantee you life is lifing for them. So teach them content, conversations, conversions. So if you're lucky enough to get leads, don't leave your leads hanging. Don't take too long to follow up with them. Like, nurture the leads, ask them questions. Don't be too quick to send them in to an information, or video or PDFs or whatever. Have conversations. Nurture the leads as a human before you send the emotion. It's the human connection that a lead has with you that they'll feel comfortable to buy from you because they feel like they can trust you. Okay? So I hope this is helpful in some way. Personal branding is essential. So if you don't know who you help and what problems you solve for them, go back and do some work on personal branding. You might have a million different products in your company and you can offer them all and you love them all. That's awesome. But 80% of the time, keep your main thing the main thing. So pick one product or a couple of products and 80% of the time talk about that. So I've got one product that I do talk about other products and other solutions to various problems for women. But I've got one main thing that I mainly talk about. And when you do that over and over and over again, there's the consistency that builds the trust. The algorithm will find the right people and put in front of you. But if you are all over the place and you don't have any plan, you don't have any strategy, you're a fly by the night, a seat of your pants, post whenever, however, like, that's probably why you're not getting leads. And if you don't get leads, you can't nurture the leads to get the sale. Okay. So I hope that all makes sense. Just personal branding is critical. Content, conversations, and conversions is critical. Okay. And that creates your consistency. The other thing that I do is I've started to have with the consistency one call to action, one word. So it doesn't matter what video people are watching, I'm still leading to the same word, the same call to action. Drop the X amount of word if you want more information. So I don't even need to look back at what video they're watching. I've got the same word, the same call to action for all my videos. So it keeps it very streamlined for me. Okay. And just to finish off, as excuse me, lead flow goes, all my leads, well, not 100%, but 90% of my leads come from short form video. So if you've followed along with me in the last kind of month or so, I did the Reels boot camp in January as well. Short form video, whether that's Reels on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, like short form videos on TikTok, that's where all my leads are coming from. So that's what I focus on. I do written posts on my Facebook every now and again, but I go where I know I'm going to get the leads the most. And for most of you, it will be in short form video because that gets sent to people way outside your warm market. Every new video is going to new eyeballs. So if you're really good with your message, you're really good with talking about the solution to a problem that you solve for people, then you'll get new leads. Okay. But you might need to work at it initially to build up the trust with your audience. Like, they need to hear you talk about the same thing over and 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 over again. You need to get sick of your own voice. And if you get sick of your own voice, then that's when you're doing a good job. It's like, I spoke about this last week, it's like a TV commercial. How many times do you see a TV commercial over and over and over and over and over and over and over again? But it's the same TV commercial. You never really get sick of it. It just reinforces it. There is a very good reason why TV commercials are exactly the same for months, leading up to a new show, a launch of a new show. It's the same kind of advertisements on TV leading up to, like, it's the same thing, the same music, the same message. Like, that's what you need to become, an advert for whatever it is that you share and you sell, and be loud and proud and happy about that. Okay. Gosh, I could go on. I need to be quiet now. I'm just rambling, but I hope there's something in this video that makes you think, yeah, I should probably do a better job of that, or I probably need to concentrate on that more, or I need to be more consistent, or I need to dial in my brand, or I need to repurpose my content more because I'm working too hard. and I can still put out content even when life is lifing. Like, I hope there's something in there that helps you dial in on something so you can get better results in your business. Okay? Let me know in the comments if that was helpful, or if there's one little kind of eye opener there. I'm just intrigued to know if that's helpful. And I like to share, like, it's good when you're getting results. And I think it's important to share with you when I'm getting results, which I am, like the number one enroller in, the whole of Australia and New Zealand in my company for November, December, and January. What I'm doing is working. Even though life was hitting me hard in January, I still achieved it. And I'm not naive enough to say I'm going to achieve it every month. There'll come a time where somebody will do a better job than me. It's inevitable. I'm not going to hold it forever, but I'm still going to work hard at doing well. But it doesn't have to take over your life if you kind of concentrate on those things. Okay. Thank you for listening. Remember, this is my only public live video this week because I'm going away tomorrow for the rest of the week. So I will see you guys on my public videos next week. Remember, if you are one of my coaching community members, Practical Reels Training Part 2, where I share my phone on the screen and I push all the buttons and I show you how to do all the cool stuff. That is tomorrow and not the next day. It's normally the next day. Okay. So coaching community members, I will see you guys tomorrow for your exclusive training on Practical Reels Part 2. Okay. See you on my next training. Bye.